So you're thinking about moving to the Boise, Idaho area, and you're curious about water. Can you live on it? Can you play on it? If you do play in it, where are you going to go play in it? So in today's video, we're going to talk about lakes, reservoirs, and rivers, and real estate. Hey, if you're new to the channel, my name's Craig Flood. I make videos each week about what it's like to live in the beautiful state of Idaho. So if you want to learn more about that, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Additionally, I'm a licensed real estate agent with an amazing team, and we help people each week, just like you, relocate to this beautiful state. You can call, text, or email, days, nights, or weekends, and we would love to assist. So today, I'm talking about water. Right now, I'm up on the lovely Lucky Peak Reservoir. This is where I go out to do a lot of recreating and playing in the water. And like I said, we're going to talk about lakes, reservoirs, and rivers. And I'm going to talk a little bit about what North Idaho has that Southern Idaho and the Boise area doesn't really have. So first, if you were to look at a map of the Boise area, in fact, let's do it right here. If we zoom out, you're going to see three pretty major bodies of water. Up north, you're going to see Black Canyon Reservoir. Off to the west, you're going to see Lake Lowell. And then off to the east, you're going to see Lucky Peak Reservoir, where I am right now. And then in terms of rivers, up north, you're going to see the Payette River. Off to the east, we're going to have the Boise River. And then west, you're going to see the Snake River. All these rivers are very different. The Payette is very beautiful. It feeds into Black Canyon Reservoir and then feeds out and goes through Emmett. And then the Boise River obviously cuts through town, also very lovely. And then it kind of forks off on that eastern edge. You have the South Fork of the Boise, the North Fork of the Boise. Great rivers to go fishing, just beautiful country in that area. And then you have the Snake River, very large, very meandering. Something unique about the Snake River is that you can get property on the Snake River, just like you can on the Boise River. Now, your other bodies of water that you're going to see in this area, you're going to see a lot of kind of man-made ponds. Right? Let's take Legacy, for example, out in Eagle. You have builders who want to give people access to water because who doesn't want to be or live near water? And so then you're going to have a lot of these man-made ponds that you're going to see in a community like that. And so that really covers the large kind of options that you have in terms of water. Now, I will say this real quick, and this is where I'm going to compare kind of North Idaho to South Idaho. But if you're somebody who dreams of living on a lake, you're not really going to get that in Boise, Idaho. You could get that if you travel north. We do have Lake Cascade and Payette Lake, which is a true kind of mountain lake with a quaint, very nice town. In fact, a lot of people who live in the Boise, Idaho area will often travel up there in the summer, or they will get vacation homes up there because they want that lake life, or they want to be close to that lake life. They could moor their boat up there, and that's where they're going to go get that kind of experience. But when I think about North Idaho, there are tons of lakes in North Idaho, tons of lakes that you can live on for all varying sorts of prices. In South Idaho near Boise, it's not really like that. And so that is one of the main differences between North Idaho and South Idaho. In fact, just to kind of like drive that home, let me show you a clip of me back home where I'm from in Puyallup, Washington, just south of Seattle. So here I am on Lake Tapps. This is in Washington, just south of Seattle. This is where I grew up. Lakes like this are amazing. Beautiful homes on this lake. The water's super warm. You are not going to find this in Boise, Idaho. We have reservoirs. We do not have this. If you want something like this, you're going to be heading up north to Coeur d'Alene, or you're going to maybe get a vacation home or even move to McCall area. So that's where I grew up. My father worked for Boeing. In fact, he just recently retired. But I grew up kind of with that lake life experience, and it was the best. I mean, we were just back there for a week, me and my family and kids, having a blast, and it just put a smile on my face because it was such great memories for my kids. Not only for them experiencing a lake like that, but for them to spend that time with us and grandparents and extended family and cousins. There's just something special about a lake, which is one thing that makes me a bit sad about the Boise area, is because that just doesn't exist in that same way, or maybe what you're used to or what you're hoping for. So again, that's where kind of North Idaho has that upper hand on us. But the reservoirs out here are phenomenal. They're very large. I often go out with a good friend and we go wake surfing in this reservoir, and there's plenty of space to spread out. Additionally, as you're kind of seeing behind me, there are no homes on this reservoir. Again, right, I'm driving that home of where you just aren't buying property on the reservoir. You can buy property near it. you can get property that has views of it, but you're not really on it. And in fact, even right now, the reservoir is down pretty far. And so you can kind of see I'm on the bank. Just a couple weeks ago, this reservoir was all the way at the top, but they have already started lowering it. Hey, I just wanted to pause for a second. If you're serious about getting relocated and moved to Boise, Idaho, a big next step usually in that process is a scouting trip. We help tons of people plan successful scouting trips to ultimately help them decide if Idaho is somewhere that they should live or if it's somewhere that is just not the best fit and they should continue looking. If you want help with an Idaho scouting trip, be sure to reach out. It's completely free. It's our way of helping as many people as we can get moved to this beautiful state. But all these kind of lakes and reservoirs are going to be great for you if you want to go boating, if you want to go paddleboarding, kayaking, fishing. All of them are going to be great. You're going to have great options in terms of getting access to launch your boat. In addition to that, you can get slips to moor your boat. In fact, you kind of see it just right over there where you do have some slips where people can park their boats. So if you don't want to haul it up and down, you can absolutely do that. Which is kind of funny, there's only a handful of boats left because the water's going down, so hopefully they get those out before they get stuck on the rocky shore. Now let's talk about homes again. I kind of mentioned you're just going to struggle a little bit to kind of find that water and home lifestyle here. You will get it to some degree on the Boise River. There are some existing homes that are just gorgeous along the Boise River. In addition to that, we just highlighted a new community out in the Star Eagle area that is going to have access to the river for the community. So the homes aren't necessarily being built on it, but you're in a community that's going to have a lot of access to the Boise River just for you, which is really nice. So it's one of those options where if you do want to be close to the water, a community like that could be a good option to get it. And what's nice about that is that it's the river. It's clean water. It's not a man-made pond that could potentially get stagnant. I'm never a big fan of jumping in man-made ponds, but being close to the river could be a good option for you if you are dead set on living in Boise, Idaho, and you still want access to some good water, potentially within walking distance. So there you have it. That's water in the Boise, Idaho area. If you're looking for another video to watch, be sure to watch that one next, where I talk about the pros and cons of Boise, Idaho.